Let's get more on this now with Professor Ioannis Kokkoris, antitrust expert and Professor of Law and Economics at Queen Mary University here in London. Good to see you, Professor. Let's start with the UK and the new bill empowering the regulator to oversee the position of major tech firms. What are the new rules and will they really make a difference?
Well, it's expected to make a difference. The UK has been working on it for quite some time now. The Competition Authority of the UK has already had a draft bill for at least 2-3 years now, and now finally this is going through the next step. So we expect to see a difference on two levels. We expect to see a difference first from a consumer point of view. As a consumer, as everyday consumers, we go to book a flight, we go to book a hotel, we see some reviews of the hotel. We are not always sure, is it a legitimate review, is it a fake review? So, for example, the new bill will deal with fake reviews. Another point that the new bill will deal with is, for example, subscription. You sign up for a subscription, you don't always have a clear idea how can you cancel, when can you cancel. The new bill will deal with any type of misleading or unclear cancellation terms. And then it's the bigger picture, because the new bill will also want to tackle conducts by companies like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, which affect us consumers at the second step. Affects first the competitors around them, possibly, and then that leads to harm to consumers. So the bill will cover both direct consumer harm and indirect consumer harm through conducts of other companies.
So very much focused on the consumer, but if you were a startup in the EU, is it any different? I mean, what should startups be looking out for or changing in the way they operate?
At this point, the bill in the UK and the equivalent one in the EU applies to companies which will most likely be beyond the startup stage. Will be when companies will actually have reached a number of users per month or a number of capitalization on an annual basis. So it's not predicted to affect a startup structure. Where we can have an indirect impact, which has been debated so far, and we will see now what it turns out to be, is you had a number of startups which are actually investing in order to be, at some point later on, acquired by one of the big guys. Now, this type of acquisitions, this type of approaches will be under scrutiny. So you may have less of an incentive of a startup to invest up front, to design the new best thing in technology on virtual reality, for example, because any acquisition by one of the big players in cashing out can be monitored, can be assessed, and can be blocked, actually.
So tricky then. This shakes up the whole market.
Yes.
And you know what? It's all very well having these new rules, but what if they're not kept to? I mean, will fines be substantial enough? Is enforcement going to be a challenge?
Well, enforcement will be a challenge. And will be a challenge because we are turning an agency which is not supposed to be doing regulation into an agency that has to do regulation. This is the competition agency either in the UK or the European Commission. So we're turning agencies which have not been used to do this type of analysis to regulators. So enforcement will not be straightforward. The agencies will need new staff, will need more experienced staff in these areas, and they will need to be able to act quickly, because the whole point of having these bills is to proactively prevent harm from arising to consumers. If you cannot act quickly, then you have actually lost the game. When it comes to penalties, the rules say the companies can be fined up to 10% of the global annual turnover. Now, authorities in Europe have been pretty adamant of actually enforcing strict penalties. We will see how it goes here, but we expect that these bills will have teeth. Otherwise, it will be such a waste of time and effort and an opportunity lost for consumers.
Yeah. So they'll have teeth, but there's going to be a need for speed. Professor Ioannis Kokkoris, thank you very much.